Alright, today we are going to have a simple introduction on vectors. So the first thing is how we write vectors. Vectors can be written in the form of ij or in the form of column vector. Now just an example, vector AV is 3i plus 4j. Now 3i, it means moving 3 units in the positive direction of x. And 4j, it means moving 4 units in the positive direction of y. Second thing is about the operation of vectors. Vectors are just like numbers. They can undergo addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now the thing to be careful about here is about subtraction. Now if there's a negative number here, make sure it is expanded correctly. Alright. Now another way of dealing with operation, we can write in the form of column vector, which I prefer this so that our operations can be done clearer to prevent mistakes. Alright, the next thing we want to find the magnitude of vector. So as we can see from this graph, there's a 3i and 4j. It forms a right angle triangle, and we want to find the magnitude of AB. So we use Pythagoras theorem to find, and the magnitude is 5 units. The next thing we want to talk about is unit vector. Unit vector, it means the vector of just one unit. So let's look at this example. Vector AB can actually be divided into 5 segments of 1 unit, and we want to find the vector for just 1 unit. So how do we go about it? We divide this vector by the magnitude. So we have a simple formula, AB divided by the magnitude of AB. So we can write in this form and also this form. Now this next thing, we want to just double check whether our unit vector is correct. So we use Pythagoras theorem once again for the unit vector. So the square of 3 over 5 and plus the square of 4 over 5 is 1. Right? So each of these unit is represented by 3 over 5i plus 4 over 5j. Now the next thing I want to talk about is parallel lines. Now in this statement here, it says CD is twice of AB. Now if you just want to show two lines are parallel, as long something is a multiple of AB, they are parallel lines. Alright, so in this case, let's find the vector of CD. So we start with this sentence and we substitute 2 multiplied by 3i plus 4j. It is 6i plus 8j. Now when we say CD is twice of AB, this applies to the magnitude as well. So again, we've used Pythagoras theorem to find vector AB, which is 5. For CD, it will be 10. So here we can conclude the magnitude of CD is twice of AB. Alright, the last thing we want to talk about is solving variables in vector. Let's just look at this line. We have a PQ and also RS. And if RS is 3 times of PQ, we want to find what is lambda and mu. Now lambda and mu, they are just like variables that we want to find. We do not use x and y in vectors so that we do not confuse when we look at vectors in the graph. So we start with this line, RS is 3 times of PQ. Then we substitute the vector into this. And from here, we expand this. And now we want to compare the vector I and j. So comparing I, you get lambda is 15. And we compare j, mu minus 7 is -9, solving it, mu is -2. So there will be many examples that involves comparing the vector I and j, and sometimes we need to use simultaneous to solve the equations. So that's it for the introduction of vectors for additional maths.